Alexander Sims, we will start with you. Just been speaking to JF Thorman about the race in Marrakesh. I don't know what to ask. Is there anything is it all behind you from your point of view now? Does it feel like it's done?
Yeah, I mean, we've addressed the issues, understand how we can manage it better next time, and yeah, hopefully we're in a similar position in the coming races to be able to manage it properly.
How do you manage it better?
Primarily not crash into each other.
So was that a long meeting to decide that was the way forward?
No, it wasn't desperately long. You know, we just put in a procedure to communicate better between the cars and the garage, and
because we heard in the earlier stages of the race you were backing off because you didn't want to attack Antonio. So at what point did that change for you?
When Jerome was getting closer and closer by the lap and felt that I was under threat, but it was my mistake not to communicate that to the garage, how I was feeling, and the fact that they were chasing us, or catching us, sorry. It was just poorly handled by everybody, to be honest.
But to be running at the front in only your second Formula E race must have given you a boost, because Saudi was quite difficult for you.
Yeah, Saudi was, well, I mean, actually qualifying was the only thing that was difficult for some bizarre reason. I don't really know why, but I had massive lack of grip in general. And yeah, just qualified at the back. Then with the grid penalties, we got to mid-grid to starting the race, and then the race itself was actually okay for where we started. But no, certainly it was ironically a lovely position to be in my second Formula E race to have that as the big issue.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for coming. We can we'll move on now to we'll let you get your breath back. You know what I mean. Sam Bird, good to have you with us. Quite a turnaround in Marrakesh. No points at all in Saudi Arabia, and then 2 cars on the podium in Morocco. You must be very pleased with that.
Yeah, pleased, but we qualified towards the front in Riyadh. Let's not forget, without the penalty, we would have been starting, I think, P5 and P7 or something around there. So Riyadh wasn't a true reflection of our overall pace. The next day, we had that test day. We learned a lot. We were both quickest, one in the morning, one in the afternoon in that test. We had no manufacturer test days, so every time we go out there, we're learning more, a little bit like what HWA are experiencing now. We might be an experienced team, but with this car, we lack experience in itself. The relationship between us and Audi Sport is extremely strong, and they're giving us as much feedback as we need in order to do our job properly. Marrakesh was great, but again, good race, but a lot to be improved, and we hope to put some of that right this weekend.
You say that the relationship with Audi is strong and they're giving you a lot of information. Surely it's the other way around at the moment, because you're in front of them and higher than them in the standings. Do you care about that at all?
Not after 2 races. They are a huge team with a lot of resources, and we work well with them. We come up with we come up with ideas that are put forward to them. Then whatever they do with that, they can run with those ideas. But ideally, all us 4 drivers will have the same equipment all the time, same software, same everything. So we have to work closely with them. Okay, they're behind us currently, but they're a very strong team, and I don't say that lightly.
Good luck for the weekend. Jose Maria Lopez from Geox Dragon, moving on to you. Welcome to Santiago.
Thank you.
Everybody's probably asked you, but does this feel like your home race?
Yeah, hello everyone. Sorry we've been late, but we had some traffic into the pit lane. Yeah, it feels like home. Yeah, it's not far. I live just 40 minutes from here.
Oh, really?
In the plane, just crossing the Andes. So it's not far. I came just a few days before, so I spent some time with the family, with friends. And here, I think there's going to be a lot of people from Chile behind us, and also coming, my family, friends, brothers. Everyone is going to be here. So it's the race that I would say you want to do a good result just for them. So let's see what we can do.
last year, I think 25 seconds your race lasted, so that's not ideal. Looking at, it's a different track though this season.
Yeah.
What do you think of this circuit?
Well, I think it's very difficult to do worse this year. I mean, I think I can manage to do probably 45 meters. I won't go outside Sam again, just in case. He's a good friend. But I always try the outside, but I think it's not working. But I think the layout is very challenging. I think I would not say anything different from what the other guys can say. I think the concrete part of the circuit is going to be very slippery and challenging. And then you have, let's say after turn 1, you have a new tarmac and the grip is going to be much better. Challenging circuit, like we are used in Formula E. So we're going to have the first taste in the shakedown. I think the main difference, I feel like the simulations we've done, they are a little bit far for what at least we can see here because it has changed. It's a new circuit, it's a new layout. So we will see. We'll see.
How do you feel after the first 2 races? Because there's been some good speed in the car, very good qualifying in Saudi Arabia, but the results aren't there yet.
I like just to look at the positives, you know. I think that the potential, as you say, is there. We've been fighting on the front in Saudi Arabia. I think Saudi Arabia was a bit a different weekend. We didn't have free practice. Qualifying was in the wet, so I knew Marrakesh was going to be a bit harder. But nevertheless, we managed to do a good weekend. I was fighting with Sam at one point, but then we lost performance in the end. We had some issues, which we worked on Sunday after the race on the testing, and we believe that we will be better here. But everybody is in the progress area now, you know. So it's very hard to predict. Managing a clean weekend, a smooth one, I think is the most important thing in Formula E, the hardest one to achieve. So if we can do that, I think we can fight for important places.